So, the myth that America likes to tell young people, especially young women, is that this is a country where the truth matters, where justice is blind, and where no one is above the law. But the handling of the Epstein files, and in fact a lot of cases, but especially the Epstein files lately, has brought this into light that we deliver a very different lesson, a very corrosive one, to young people through our actions, and a much more powerful one than the one we deliver through our words. Whether it is intended or not, the message is unmistakable. The power protects itself, not you. You don't matter. For years, in these cases, especially the Epstein case, the public has watched a familiar choreography unfold. In the Epstein case, names with money, status, or institutional prestige surface in connection with Epstein, and suddenly everything slows down. The language becomes more cautious. The outrage becomes more selective. The consequences start to evaporate. Young people aren't naive. They see the double standard. We all see the double standard now. They see that accountability is swift for the powerless and glacial for the powerful. And frankly, they're drawing the only conclusion that fits the evidence. Justice in America is conditional. It is something you receive only if you are not important enough to threaten anyone. This is not a failure of our legal system. It's a cultural failure and a systemic one. When survivors are scrutinized while institutions are shielded, when elite reputations are treated as fragile national assets, the message to young people, especially young women, is brutal in its simplicity. Your safety is negotiable. Their embarrassment is not. You can tell girls to speak up, to be brave, to trust the system, but they are watching what happens to those who did. They see whistleblowers sidelines, victims doubted and maligned, journalists pressured, and institutions slow-walking transparency. They see that the truth is treated as a threat, not a duty, and they learn that silence is safer than honesty. And as I said, the true tragedy is much deeper than Epstein. It is about the economic system that enabled him. Universities eager for donations, banks eager for clients, philanthropies eager for prestige, media figures eager for access, and political actors across parties eager to look away. The network was not a conspiracy. It's a part of the culture. A culture that teaches young people that the system will protect itself long before it protects them. And what exactly does that do to a generation? It breeds cynicism, not civic engagement. It teaches that wealth doesn't just buy comfort, it buys impunity. It tells young women that they must be vigilant, responsible, and ethical in a world where the people with the most power to harm them are not held to the same standard. It creates a double bind. You must be good even if the world around you is not. Perhaps the most dangerous message of all is the quiet one, the one that seeps in through repetition. Your anger is justified, but it won't change anything. When revelations produce no results, no reform, when evidence produces no accountability, when public outrage produces no structural change, young people learn that even righteous fury is politically inert. That is how democracies lose a generation, not through apathy, but through disillusionment. But here's the part we can still control. We can choose to send a different message. We can choose transparency over secrecy, accountability over reputation management, and institutional courage over institutional self-protection. We can choose to show young women that their safety is not an afterthought, that their voices are not disposable, and that their trauma is not public relations fuel, not a problem to be managed. The question is not whether young people are watching. They are. The question is whether we are willing to build a society that deserves their trust.